Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, Life of the Watkins Family. Today I wanted to go ahead and tell my miscarriage story. I'm not gonna, sugarcoat it or anything. I'm gonna just go straight to the point. Because otherwise this would be like a completely long video. Ignore my hair. I took a nap earlier, so it's gotten a little fuzzy. But anyway, so it was in February. I forget the exact day, but it was a Thursday, I believe, like 20 something. Anyway, so I went to work that day. I got off early. I think I got off at like 8 in the morning. My shift just starts at 4:30 in the morning. So I got up early around 8. And before I left, I remember just being at work. And then I work for TSA. So I was on the big machine. You have to have a male and a female. So I worked that for maybe 30 minutes before I left. And while I was on there, I felt like a tiny little gush. And if you've been pregnant before, you know that it's not, out of the normal. That happens throughout the whole 10 months. So I didn't think nothing of it. So I went to the restroom, used the restroom, and I noticed my liner was kind of full. And I was like, But then again, it's not abnormal. So I didn't think nothing of it. I came home. We ate breakfast and I took a nap. So after I got up from my nap, I was like, okay, so I'm gonna get my baby. She was a car rider last school year, and we waiting in the pickup line. Everything is fine. Like, I'm not in any pain. Like, I don't feel anything. So I honestly forgot about that morning. So anyway, we in the pickup line to get my daughter from school, and we get her. We come back home. I'm sitting on the couch watching TV, not doing nothing, strenuous or anything like that. So I feel cramps, very intense cramps, which is not unusual. And I remember that week I had a doctor's appointment. Sorry, y'all, my son came in here. Anyway, yeah, that week I had a doctor's appointment, like on a Tuesday, I think. And I remember talking to my god sister, and I was telling her, like, man, I just feel weird, like something is wrong. I know something is wrong. And she was like, I think everything will be okay, just let me know how the doctor's appointment goes, and we can talk from there. So I go into my appointment. Everything's good with the ultrasound. It was a heartbeat, everything. And I was like, oh, thank God. But it's like those little worries were still in the back of my mind. I never had a miscarriage before this one. So I didn't know, like, what to expect. So anyway, we're going to fast forward. I don't know why I keep backtracking, but fast forward back to that day. So I feel cramps. And it was just on one side. And I was like, oh, that really hurts. But, usually you cramp anyway because your uterus is stretching. And I was like, this is kind of a weird one because it was like really painful. It was only on one side. So finally, I get up and I go use the restroom. And when I wipe, it's pink. My heart dropped like immediately as soon as I saw that. I just knew. So I'm trying not to panic, trying not to think nothing, of it. I call my mom in and I'm telling her I'm having like pink discharge, I guess you could say. And she was like, what? I was like, yeah, it's very, very light, but it's there. And she was like, all right, try to call your doctor and see what they want you to do. So I did that, but by that time, everybody was gone home. So it was nobody but like the receptionist. And she was like, just go to the hospital and call us back tomorrow. And we'll see like if we can fit you in, if you can be seen either tomorrow or Monday. I was like, okay, I'll do that. So I started calling my husband. I let him know I need you to come home now because I need to go to the hospital. I need to go to the ER. I was borderline about to take myself, but if it was what I thought it was going to be like horrible. How was I going to get back home? So I tell him, hey, I need you to come home. He was like, what's wrong? And I started telling him. He was like, that never happened before. And I was like, no. He was like, okay, I'm coming. So when I make it upstairs, I'm trying to fight back tears because I already know, like, I just felt it. And it's weird because, like I said, I was having those feelings, like, leading up into that appointment. I'm like, Lord, like, I'm praying about it. I'm like, I don't know why I feel this way, but Lord, please, you know? And so I make it upstairs. I tell my mother-in-law, and she was like, that don't necessarily mean it's that, because sometimes you do like bleed a little bit, but it's always like, what is it called? Like that, it's like a hemorrhage. She said it could be that. Don't worry about it too much. Just go to the hospital and see what they say. Okay. So I get in the shower real quick. While I'm showering, I'm looking at the towel, and now I'm starting to see tiny blood clots, like small blood clots. And I'm like, this ain't good at all. So I'm dressed. I just lay down, wait on my husband to come. I put a pad on and everything just in case. And then he comes, and he was like, come on, let's go. So we go up here to Memorial Hermann in Humble, which I probably would never do ever again because that was like the worst experience ever. We get there. I let her know my symptoms. I was 8 weeks and maybe like 4 days, I think. And I was letting her know I'm cramping and I'm starting to spot. So she gave me my wristband and stuff, and I get all like checked in and stuff. And then they say, well, because of COVID, you have to be in here by yourself in the waiting room. You can't have anybody with you. Lady, I just told you I'm possibly having a miscarriage, and you're going to tell me my husband can't stay in here with me? Okay, so waited for like hours and hours and hours and hours. Like, we was there till, I think we got there around 5, maybe 6. We didn't leave, and I actually walked out because I got tired of waiting. It was like almost midnight by the time I walked out. But rewind. So I get called to the back to triage or whatever. They're checking my blood pressure, asking me all these questions. When did it start? Has this ever happened before? How many weeks I was, and all that other stuff. I answer all that. And then I get sent back to the waiting room. Just waiting. And waiting. And finally I get called back for ultrasound. They don't let you see nothing. And I already felt weird because I felt like it was like still like coming out. But it wasn't. So they didn't let me see it. They had the screen like facing them and stuff. She's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go over this or let the doctor, review it, and then they'll come and talk to you. Okay. So I get wheeled back to the waiting room, waiting again. And I get called back, and they have like 2 forms. I was like, well, this is not good. So he was like, so the baby doesn't have a heartbeat, and my HCG levels was low. I think they was 6,366. They said I was supposed to have a lot more than that. So it was like, it was fetal demise. So I'm sitting there listening to this man, and I want to just get up and walk away because I don't have my comfort with me. Like, y'all made him stay outside, or you know, he couldn't be in there, so he was in the truck in the parking lot. I'm like, I don't have my person. I'm trying to hold it together. Like, this is so much information. Like, I've never went through this before. So once that happens, they tell me to wait again for some kind of medication or whatever. So I'm sitting there and I'm waiting and waiting. So finally I was like, you know what? I walked up to the one of the nurses. I was like, can you take this off of me? I'm gonna just go. He was like, you sure? I said, yeah, they gave me my discharge papers. I was supposed to be waiting on medication, but I just want to go. And he was like, yeah. So he unhooked me, and I told my husband, come to the front. And he came, and once he parked and stuff, and I got in the truck, waterworks. Immediately, waterworks. And he was like, oh my God, what's wrong? I handed him the paper. Once he read that paper, waterworks. Because we planned this baby. Like, we planned that baby to the T. Like, we planned it. And I know they say when you make plans, God just laughs. But, like, that was a very cruel joke. But, yeah, that hurt me so bad. I didn't even think something like this could happen to me. I mean, I had 2 previous pregnancies, both healthy, you know. So I was like, I got it this time, you know. I already know what to do. I know what to expect. But then again, those thoughts. And that's the thing with me. Like, when I feel something, it always comes true. And it's like, all those nights of me praying, and I was just really upset. I was really sad. I was really hurt. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I didn't want to talk about it because I just didn't want to cry. So we got home. We got in bed and just cried. cried, tossed and turned the whole night. Like, it was hard. So the next day, he was like, let's try another hospital. Let's just get a second opinion. I was like, okay, let's do that. This time, he took me downtown to the women's hospital. So when I went to the women's hospital, they did the same things over. And this time, she let me see the screen when I got the ultrasound. And they also let him stay in the room with me, so I wasn't alone. So when I went to get my ultrasound, I could see the screen, and she was like, well, let's just see if we have a heartbeat. She looking and looking. I'm looking at the baby, and I don't see anything. She doesn't either. So she was just like, well, it's not looking good, but I'm going to review it, let the doctor review it, and then they'll be in touch. I was like, okay. So at this time, like, I'm coming to terms with it. I'm like, yeah, it's definitely a miscarriage. So I get back to the room, and he's waiting on me. And then I told him I didn't see anything, and they'll be back in here shortly. The crazy thing is, my body was still thinking that I had like a live baby because my HCG had went up like 1,000 and something points. I mean, you know what I'm trying to say. It went up to like 7,400 and something. So I was like, that's still kind of low, and I didn't see no heartbeat, and I'm just not going to, just put my hopes up. So she came back in. She was like, yeah, it's a miscarriage. I'm so sorry. But I'm going to give you some medicine for the pain, and just take it easy. And she was telling me like how to handle everything, and we were discharged. But I like the way we was handled there versus Memorial Hermann and Humble. But yeah, that's my story. I still was like spotting, nothing was like really coming out. But the next day, I hurt so bad the next day, and I'm not gonna even lie to you, it felt like labor. Like the pain was coming in waves. I was hot, sweaty, like it was coming in waves like contractions. And then once it left my body, I felt normal again. And then of course I just bled normally after that. That took almost 7 or 8 days in total, maybe 9. But yeah, I was so heartbroken. But after that, we was like, whatever, we're not gonna try again because we don't want to go through that again. So we was just in the moment, and we created another baby. I didn't even get a chance to get my cycle. That's what's funny. I didn't get a chance to get my next cycle, because I was thinking about that too. I was like, when is it supposed to come? Never came. So we just having fun, loving each other. And we made another baby. And I am happy to say that I am 27 weeks alone with this one. 27 weeks. He's a little boy, and he's thriving pretty well. I still pray that he makes it. I pray for a healthy baby. I pray that I'll be healthy. Yeah. But that's my story. I know it still ended up kind of long because I kept backtracking. I'm sorry. But yeah. I might do pregnancy updates, but I don't know. I don't know if that's really like my speed. But I might. But thank you all for listening, and good night.